One, two, three, four. This is a show, ha-cha-cha, with no particular niche, baby. It's always about hanging out. Maybe we'll laugh at some stuff, maybe we'll learn something new, but it's always about hanging out, me and you. Hi, hello, and welcome to That Thing with James, a podcast about nothing in particular. I'm your host, James, and what's up? Hey, how's it going? Today, I thought about it. There was a couple topics I thought of that would require research, but seeing as I'm still running on fumes because, baby, the hits just keep coming in this free episode, this episode right here, I'm just going to scroll Reddit. We're going to look at Ask Reddit. We're going to look at Am I the Asshole? And maybe I'll go on to a third subreddit. Depending on where the river of time wants to take us. And then in this week's bonus episode, I will continue what I started in the previous, the last bonus episode about these aforementioned hits that just keep coming. Now, if you are an audio listener, do note that there is a YouTube. There is a video version of this show and including this episode itself. It's all the same audio, but you get to see my usually very pretty visage, although right now I feel like I'm looking rather haggard because I'm living in what feels like I'm living in something that feels like it's progressively, very quickly becoming a flop house because the hits just keep coming. And if you're watching this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which if you didn't know, you can find it, just go to YouTube and in the search bar, type in That Thing with James, and then my channel will pop up and you can hit follow and liking and subscribing and commenting about how wonderful and how much you love this and how it solved all the fucking problems. It soothed your existential crisis because you took one look at me and said, at least I'm not that guy. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, maybe the way I had the camera set up, I thought I would see more of it. I might even just put a picture of it as like the cover art for this episode. Maybe the bonus episode. Whatever the case, when I was setting up the camera for this episode, I couldn't see all of it, but I could see a little bit of the plastic. See if I crouch down here. There's a good chance that at the top of the screen, at the top of the frame in the middle, you'll see something kind of white, some kind of like white material hanging down a little bit out from the wall, out from the blinds and everything. That would be plastic. That would be a plastic sheet hanging down and habitually, well, over the past 2 weeks, because I'm now entering the third week. Has it been 3 weeks now? I forget. I think, let's see, it happened on Monday. 1 Monday, 2 Mondays, so 1, 2. I cannot remember if it's been 2 or 3 weeks, but I've got a big gaping hole in my ceiling right now. And I'll talk about that in this week's bonus episode, which will be yet another over 100 bonus episode. So, real quick before we get into the goods of this episode, as usual, some business. I've got over 100 bonus episodes of this show. Plenty to keep you entertained, plenty to fill the time, plenty to fill the void at patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. Become a member, become a patron, if you will. And, well, it's not even if you will. That's literally what people call people who support people on Patreon is patrons. Patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. Become a patron for $5, and that will get you 30 days of access to over all of my bonus episodes of this show, over 100 of them. I've got the most bonus episodes I can't believe fucking Trump's going to be a president again. Dude, this is fucking so stupid. We're back to 2016 rules, man. I remember in 2016, it was like people were trying to predict what's going to happen next, And there was only one rule that always determined what the next thing that would happen was going to be, that accurately predicted what was going to happen next. That rule is, and I may be mixing up the two, but it is whatever's going to happen. We've got all these various possibilities, all these options of what's going to happen next. And without failure, without breaking its consistency, the thing that always happened was the dumbest / most boring thing. So if you're ever wondering, particularly when it comes to federal politics, federal policy, if you're ever wondering what's going to happen next, it will always be, well, that is, unless we have the revolution of the proletariat. I know the dumbasses, the fucking libertarians, believe they're having their revolution right now, and it's going to fucking collapse on them. I can tell you that much. But barring a revolution of the proletariat, barring that, you can always guarantee, if you're wondering, if you're nervous, if you're scared, whoa, what's going to happen next? What will happen next is the dumbest / most boring thing, because that's how it dulls you down. It is beating you into suppression, not necessarily, not right in your face, not obviously with a fucking iron fist, not iron in your mouth, not jackbooted thugs, although they are out right now and they're going to keep increasing. We've seen this before and it's going to happen again. It's already happening again. What will happen, though, is authoritarian governments, such as the one may find in a country like the United States of America, authoritarian systems, because we've got a very unique kind of a thing, but it's not that unique. It really kind of fits a lot of like fascist, playbooks. Umberto Eco's, I think 13, 14 rules or markings of fascism, whatever the case. It beats you into submission through intense boredom, long, drawn out, never-ending boredom, atomization, isolation, boredom. That's how it numbs you to the horrors. That's how propaganda works. Often. Anyway, that's not what this episode is about. And who knows what's going to happen between now and the time that this episode comes out. I'm recording this on Sunday, November 17th at 10:45 a.m. And then barring any more unseen madness, I'm really good, even despite the slings and arrows of misfortune that whatever fucking life throws at me. I know this for myself. I am pretty damn consistent and single-minded. On the target. I get these episodes out 5 days after. Let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 5 days after I record them. So I'm recording this on Sunday, November 17th. I'm releasing it on Friday, whatever number day that is. And I don't know what's going to happen between now and then. So I can only talk about things that have happened. Oh, here's one of my favorite words. Things that have happened heretofore. Oh yeah, that's a Shakespeare word. And it's all one word. Here, Here, to, T-O, for, F-O-R-E. Heretofore. Here, like from the present to before times. before to now. You learned something new. How about that? Man, you really ought to subscribe to the patreon.com/thatthingwithjames because I am bursting with these kinds of gems. Oh, also, if you, I've got social media accounts. I have a show email and I have a subreddit. You can find the links to those and the link to the Patreon written in this episode's description. And if you're watching this on YouTube right about now, they should be appearing on the bottom of the screen, the little banner at the bottom called the Chiron. The Chiron. Chiron. Yeah, baby. It's Tyram for the Chiron. Don't you forget to iron your nice pants. I'm going to take a sip of water, and then we're going to dig into some hopefully good, juicy Reddit material. Just a second. Okay, I've got some stuff queued up here. So this first one, I'm looking at top of the week heretofore. Oh, so good I turned French. Oh, that reminded me. There's this, I wouldn't even call it viral. It's just this video I saw like almost a month ago of some woman in Germany looking at a water feature or something. There was like a whirlpool of water. Either she created it in a water bottle or at some like public water feature. I think the one of the subjects of the video is this woman making this whirlpool in water in some way in public in, I'm assuming Germany. I'm assuming Germany because I think maybe a middle-aged or a little bit older woman pulls up on a bicycle and like skids to a stop and says, "Oh, ein Strudel." And it's not even really viral. It's just a video that I saw, and I've seen for sure one, maybe two people just, riffing on that. Ein Strudel. So that's how I figured out strudel means spiral. I guess, maybe. I've never even seen a strudel that looks like a spiral. Although I'm thinking of just less like toaster strudels, those things that aren't as bad as like the egg strudels, like the frozen things that you put in your toaster, and they're, it's like the evolved flaky pastry version of Pop-Tarts. Probably the same company that produces them. I mean, it's all owned by the same fucking company. We live in cyberpunk, but it's not as fucking cool. And that's the worst thing. And that's part of what I'm talking about. They beat you down with how fucking boring and lame everything is. Life, if we're gonna live in a dystopian capitalist hellhole, at least make it cool. Like cyberpunk, man. Where's Pan Am? Anyway, yeah, there's strudels, and then which was like the fruit, sugary filled ones, and then you put like the icing on top, a little icing packet, and then they had the other ones where it's like fake egg and fake bits of bacon or sausage inside the Pop-Tart shaped pastry. And the fucking egg things were always cold in the middle. Like you bite into it, and then it's just you get this fake egg, fake meat. Ice cold bite on your tongue, and the texture and the flavor and the temperature was just really off-putting. But like when I was in high school, that was just an easy go-to breakfast or snack item. Usually breakfast item. I didn't love them. They were there, and I was like, it's got protein. Protein's good for you. It lasts longer than carbs. So unsatisfying, but I don't even think it was nutritious. It just made you not hungry for a little while, and I get hungry pretty quickly. I've got a fast metabolism. I still do. I think I've weighed basically the same since college. Good problem to have, I suppose, as I get older, but I get pretty fucking hungry pretty fucking fast. That's the way that works out. Anyway, yeah, Reddit posts. That's what we're doing. First one, ask Reddit. This user asks Reddit, what is a quote unquote red flag in a TV show that tells you it's about to go downhill? And honestly, I cannot think of it. I can't think of an answer. Just before I get into these comments, these replies, I can't think of an answer off the top of my head. I'm sure I've seen it before, but I'm just pretty selective about the stuff I watch, which is pretty easy to do with, streaming these days, video on demand. You can be more selective. You're not just subjected to, the schedule. And I used to watch shows, but it was when I was younger. And then I went for like years in college with literally no TV and no internet, just the complete collection of Monty Python's Flying Circus on DVD. I watched those and I listened to the radio and I played Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion on my PC. And I miss having a PC, I'm not going to lie. I mean, why would I even lie about that? I miss having a PC. And I miss having the, time to, devote to a PC like I used to have. Whatever. Let's read some replies. Because I don't know what a red flag is that a show's about to go downhill. Top reply is they introduce a younger, cuter version of the quote-unquote baby of the family. To which another person replies, in Married with Children, they added a kid, but then he just disappeared the next season. The only thing they did to acknowledge him was a missing picture on a milk carton. And that right there, folks, is very clever, very smart comedy writing. That's very smart writing in general. You don't have to explain everything. You can just acknowledge something, acknowledge a change, and then put something else acknowledging it. And it raises so many other questions that you don't have to fucking answer. But it creates an investment in the audience. The audience gets invested. They're like, wait, what the fuck happened? This person just disappeared. Where did they go? That's one thing. It's like, did they just, fuck off and get lazy and just nix this person and say nothing? But then if you leave a little marker somewhere in the scene, written, visual, audio, you leave a little hint somewhere acknowledging the change, and it answers one question but creates so many more questions. Why are they not looking for the kid? Stuff like that. That's really smart. And I remember watching Married with Children when I was a little kid. I loved that show. And my, did I have a crush on Christina Applegate. That was who the daughter was, right? Ooh, man, I had a crush on her as a little kid. Well, I used to watch it and laugh, and then my parents would see me watching it, and they would be like, you don't even know what you're laughing about. And I would be like, yeah, I do. And they would be like, they're making sex jokes. And I would go, ew, gross. No, they're not. And then, I haven't gone through and rewatched the whole series, but every now and then I'll catch an episode here or there. And my parents were 100% right. I was seeing sex jokes. I was laughing at sex jokes that I didn't understand. Again, clever writing where it's funny for multiple reasons. What did I just hear in the background? Does a squirrel? Oh, okay. No, I'm hearing a shower in the background. Okay. I thought I was hearing a squirrel rattling around in the place, which I was afraid some kind of creature was going to come in through the gaping hole in my ceiling. Again, I'll get into that in this week's bonus episode. Okay, let's read some more red flags of what means a TV show's about to go downhill. This person says, the main protagonist leaves and they keep going. Oh, duh. That's obvious. Fucking, what was the show? Shameless. Like Shameless. When Emmy Rossum, that's her name, right? The actor. And when Emmy Rossum left, I mean, the show was already kind of like running out of steam by the time she, left. But then the character left. And that was like, why is this show still going? Like Emmy Rossum, yeah, there was a lot of, every character was important, but it's very fucking clear that Emmy Rossum's character was the main character. That's the main story we're following. And then she goes away. Kind of like, what's his name in that 70s show? He left. That shit went downhill. Speaking of Shameless, the US version, mind you, I tried to watch like the final episode or the final season. I think it was supposed to be a final episode or the final 2 episodes were streaming. And I got on there because I think I was watching it on Hulu like 2 years ago or something. And it was supposed to be like a 1 or 2 part finale. And I go on to watch it. And it's the weirdest fucking thing. It's not even the show. And it said, this is the episode. This is the actual episode you watch, like you're watching an episode of TV. This is a continuation of the narrative. But what I saw, what they had streaming under the label of an actual episode, was not a fucking episode. It was like a making of, behind the scenes documentary. So what the fuck happened? It seems like a lot of mess. A lot of mess happened with that show. This other person says, ruining the main character's growth for the sake of drama. Oh, yeah. Of course. How am I forgetting? The king of going downhill. Game of Thrones. Getting Jaime Lannister, getting every single character to behave in a way that betrays their character. Not just up to this point, but even from the very beginning, even before they had any development, actions, choices, behaviors that completely do not make sense or fit at all with the character's starting point, nor where they ended up with their arc, with their progression. Weird. Game of Thrones, king of going downhill. God damn. Talk about dropping the ball. Talk about losing the bag. What happened? Well, a lot. I think we all kind of know what happened at that. People have minced that show so much, the downfall of that show so much. I think we all have a pretty good idea of what happened. What's this? Another person says, secret child that shows up right when a character's life is just about to come together. I'm looking at you, Gilmore Girls. Now, this might anger some viewers and or listeners. I don't care about the Gilmore Girls. Never got into the show. I tried. Didn't like it. But people obsess over that show. My God, talk about a fandom. Talk about a toxic fandom. I've had some really, like some of the worst toxic, like out of the blue toxic interactions I've had online is with super fans of the TV show Gilmore Girls. This person says, bad guy turns into comic relief. Season ends by resetting everything that just happened so they can do it all over the next season. New season starts and everyone is flanderized. Yeah. This person says, when a character on water skis jumps over a shark. Well, yeah, that was like the origin. That coined the term jump the shark. When the TV show just does the dumbest thing. It's like, why? It jumped the shark. And that's like the clear mark that the show's not worth watching anymore. It's on life support. Speaking of life support, this thread is on life support. So we're going to move on to the next one after I take this quick sip of water. Just a second. This one hits a little hard, folks. What would you do if you woke up tomorrow and the year is 2005? Now this begs the question, Are you the age you are now, or are you the age you were in 2005? And if that's the case, if you are the age you are now, do you retain all the memories and experiences and everything you've had up to this point? Just transferred your memories and personality and all, and age and body transferred to 2005? Or do you wake up the age you were with none of the experiences, a complete wipe? I mean, if that's the case, then things are probably going to play out the same. However, what if you wake up at the age you were in 2005, yet you retain all of the knowledge and experience and developed wisdom you have now, 19 years later, almost 20 years later? And if that's the case, I would want to do things differently, but the author in me could see a character going back to the age they were 20 years prior, retaining all the 20 years of development, in their mind and in their personality. Yet, here's the part where I say the author in me could see things still playing out exactly the same, despite everything you've learned, everything you know, the mistakes you know to avoid. What if you just end up making the same fucking mistakes again? I mean, this story's been done before. I'm fairly certain. I'm not fairly. I'm quite certain that story's been done before. But I think I would at least try to do things so much differently. I was in so much emotional pain and everything. See, 20 years ago, 2005, woke up 2005, I would be a junior in high school, and that would suck. And I was really unhappy back then. I've been really unhappy, I think, most of my life, if I'm to be honest. But 2005, I think I would at least have, if I retained the development I have up to now, to my current age, I'm almost 37. I'm like just under a month away. I'll be turning 37 years old. I would have confidence. I would have more confidence in myself. And that, I feel, was the greatest disservice I've ever had in my life, was lack of confidence, was fear. And I think had I not had the type of low self-esteem, low self-confidence, low hopes that I had when I was, 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, I think I don't know if I would be in a happier place. I don't know if I'd be in a better place now, but I definitely would have pursued different things. I would have gone places that I was afraid to go before, like to cities. Like I would have gone to LA or something. Yeah, I would do my damnedest to attempt wildly different things that I was too scared to do, that I psyched myself out of doing when I was the age I was in 2005 and onward. But let's read some comments here. This person says, breathe a huge sigh of relief and do everything differently. To which another person replies, do everything the same except buy Bitcoin. Lots and lots of 10-cent Bitcoins. Yeah. Someone else says, I'd cry from happiness. And someone else says, I felt your answer as it was mine. That was my very first thought when I read this question. Another person says, yes, I would be 10 again, and I would be so happy if I had all that time again. Different for me. I really don't miss the high school and college years. I do not miss those at all. Although I'm not particularly satisfied with my life now, I really don't miss previous years. I will say that. It's not like, oh, I can go back to a better time. Not really. Not really. I think in terms of like personality and self-confidence, I'm in the best place I've been. In terms of prospects and surrounding circumstances in my life, though, maybe not the best now. Progress is not a straight line. I'll say that. If you're younger than me and going through life and you're like, when does it get better? When does it get better? Some days are better, some days aren't. It ain't a straight line. And frankly, I don't think it ever will be. That's not how life works. That's not how existence works. This person says, I'm firing up Halo 2 on Xbox Live ASAP. Another person says, if it was 2005, I'd probably take a moment to appreciate how chill things were with no constant notifications. Just enjoy the little things like burned CDs and instant messaging. Now that's something that would be nice, because we certainly are now inundated, overstimulated with constant notifications. And I think it fucks a lot of people up. And I think it is I'm sure people predicted it decades before it happened, but for probably the majority of people, it's an unforeseen, unexpected result of how kind of fucked up things are now and how fucked up people feel. Just the constant glowing screens, overstimulation, constant noise. It's like I was talking about before with propaganda beats you into submission with boredom. It overstimulates and overwhelms you so much that you stop thinking critically. You don't have the bandwidth. You don't have the energy to deal with this stuff anymore. You just want to feel okay. And that's when they get you. That's how they get you. This person says, assuming I'm back to the age I was, I would do everything differently. Make better and lasting friendships, nurture talents like singing or some sport. I'd just make a better version of myself. And that goes back to what I was saying before. You can try to do that, but there's no guarantee that will happen. Even if you retain all the knowledge and wisdom you have 20 years later, there's still a chance that things will play out pretty much the same way they did before, because you don't have control over everything. You're at the whim of so many other factors. And this person, last one I'm going to read on this, go pee. I almost always have to pee when I wake up. Yeah, I would definitely pee. I always have to pee when I wake up. I always have to pee in general. Speaking of, I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll get on to let's say the final post we'll cover in this episode. This is, am I the asshole for telling my wife that the house we are gonna build won't have 5 extra rooms for her mom, her 3 brothers, and her cousin? What the fuck? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, not the asshole. What the fuck is that? Hey, let's build a house together. Also, I want my entire family, close and extended, to live with us. The fuck is this? Let's read. Was looking at house plans to submit to the town hall for approval for an acre we own out in Minnesota. 4 bedrooms, 1 for wife and me, 1 for each of our 2 kids, and 1 extra room as a playroom/game room. Quote, where's my family staying? End quote. She already promised them that they would move in with us, and she is now furious that, quote, you only care about yourself. What about me? End quote. Oh, God, why'd you marry this person? I told her that I didn't agree to that from the start. Now she's looking to sell the land from under me to prove a point, I guess. Info. The land is owned jointly by me and my wife. It was purchased using the life insurance payout we got for the death of the life insurance payout we got for the death of our 1-year-old girl in 2021. Between then and now, I got a manufacturing job with a federal government contractor. Her family has no stake or rights to our land. I got a call from the town's registrar about the, quote, ownership change inquiries, end quote, for the land. We actually own 2 parcels. I offered her to sell one parcel to her siblings for market value, but she declined. The house will be paid by me. I told her if her family wants, I can do an ADU. I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to look it up. We're running tight on time already. But they will pay market value for their rent per room, so about $900 each. She declined. My current course of action is to transfer my ownership of the land into a trust with my kids as primary owners, with express instructions that only direct descendants of me may build and live on the property. Okay, so you guys bought this, and then right away she was like, just assuming that her entire family and extended family was going to move in with them. And then she springs it up as if it was ever a conversation, and it sounds like it never was a conversation. And then all of a sudden the husband is like, whoa, pump the brakes. What are you talking about? And the wife's like, you said you would do this. I never said anything about that. We never fucking talked about that. I don't want to do that. That's insane. That's insane activity. That's insane thinking. Is it grief, or has this person always been like this? I think the grief has brought out what has always been there, I imagine. Because I imagine they're still grieving. That's not, grief takes time, and it hits people in different ways at different periods. Let's read some comments. Not the asshole. I'm guessing... hold on, let me make sure. Okay, good. Audio's still going. Not the asshole. I'm guessing her family would also be a financial burden. Why else would they need to live with you? That many functioning adults should be able to pool together, buy their own land, and build their own house. However, who owns the land? You may be selling it soon to divide the marital, not Marshall, I'm reading. You may be selling it soon to divide the marital assets anyway, if you really don't want your wife's relatives living with you. If the land is in her family or was her inheritance, I would change my vote. But if you purchased it together, my vote still stands. Edit. The info about who owned the land was not in the original post I responded to. OP replies, apparently, no, my bad. Someone else replies, apparently OP's wife sees OP as an all-in-one social service for her family. Lodging, food, where will it end? Oh, yeah, divide the land, divide that fucking consecration, divide that contract, baby. What the fuck is going on? What is going on here? Okay, let's read another comment. Info. Oh, okay. Info. Who, I guess we were reading an updated post with the added info, but these people are replying to the OP. Info. Who actually owns the land? Your wife, you, or is it a joint marital asset? If it's yours, then she doesn't get to tell you what to do with it. If it's hers, then she can sell it if she wants. If it's a joint asset, neither of you can sell it without the other person. My solution is that if it is hers, she can sell it and then divorce her. Don't waste your time building a life to get stuck taking care of her family. Whatever direction it is, yeah, Yeah, it is not your responsibility to take care of her fucking family. That's crazy shit. Another person says, yeah, I feel there is a great deal of detail missing from this story. To which another person replies, yeah, the trying to sell it out from under me speaks volumes. One person says, not the asshole, but you probably are getting a divorce. To which someone said, yep, she never left her family to create that one with you. Someone else says, oh my God, heck no, don't let them live in the same home as you both. That will end all intimacy for sure. If she is 100% on having her family live with her, then the idea is that on the same land, you can both build a tiny, small place for them to stay that is separate from your house. I think I understand what they're. If you want to go through it, why not build a second house just for them? Don't have them all living in the same house, which it sounds like that's what she wants. She wants everyone living under the same roof, which is kind of insane. But it is insane how much time has passed already. So I am going to end this episode and get ready for this week's bonus episode, which will be a continuation of the surprise, the never-ending surprise that keeps happening. Why do I have a hole in my ceiling? That question will be answered in this week's bonus episode, and you can get access to it at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you next time. Bye.